She's the YouTube angel causing a stir. That's right, you guys. Nikita Dragun is a goddess on social media. And she spoke with me about her life, her thoughts on the transgender representation, and the Victoria's Secret fashion show, and her epic Clapback video that went viral. Please take a look.
Hi Dragons! Hi Dragons!
Hi Dragons! Hi Dragons! What's up? It's Nick Dragun, and today I'm coming at you with the video. I am transgendered.
First of all, congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
You are smashing it. And you're such an inspiration to so many people. You are trans. You're such a vibrant, just shining light in the community. Great relationship with your family. So much support. Tell us about that.
Well, from an early age, I grew up with a really supportive family. We just grew up really close and really tight. And I think that they've always just wanted to see me really happy. And even though it was a learning curve for them, in our culture, it's not really as widely accepted to be different. I'm so blessed and so honored. I feel like it's a transition for not only the person, but also everyone around you.
Absolutely.
And it is a really big step. It's a huge thing for someone to wrap their mind around. For me, it was really difficult to find acceptance because a lot of times I put the notion out that someone wouldn't accept me. I feel like for a really long time I wasn't accepting of myself, and I was kind of waiting for other people to validate that.
Sure.
And it wasn't until I had that self-awareness and that self-acceptance that everyone else just seemed to come together.
We're talking about Hollywood. We have to talk about the Victoria's Secret fashion show. Victoria's Secret. I know, girl. I know. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna go along on this ride, okay? There were some comments made by Ed Razek, who's the chief marketing officer for L Brands, and he told Vogue, quote, he says that the show's a fantasy. It's a 42-minute entertainment special. That's what it is. And that was in response to having the trans community featured in this show and in Victoria's Secret in general. And you made the most amazing. We're not even going to call it a clapback because I think that doesn't do it justice. It's spot on and it's perfection. Tell us about this video.
I think I'm actually Victoria's Secret's biggest secret at this point.
Big time.
But for me, I was definitely frustrated, like anyone else that would be in our community or not in our community, about those comments. I think that having someone who is part of such a huge brand connected to women and women empowerment, I think in this day and age, people should be really held accountable for their actions. I just personally found it disrespectful and disheartening that someone would make discriminatory comments to,
Right.
the trans community and thinking that we can't sell the fantasy. And I'm like, girl, I'm the fantasy. I don't know why you're telling me I'm not the fantasy.
The fantasy was sold so effortlessly. You hit it spot on because it was you totally recreated it.
I just really wanted to show people what it means to sell the fantasy.
Right.
And so I got my team together. Like, you guys, we have about 3 days to finish and compile all of this together. I'm like, okay, I don't know how we're gonna do this, if it's even gonna be possible, but we were able to shoot it the night before the fashion show.
Stop it.
But we're trying to pull all the assets together, cutting here, color correction here, angel wings here. And it was a really, really crazy and intense, like, couple
72
of days.
hours, yeah.
72 hours of my life. But everything came together so amazingly. I definitely did not spare any,
No expense was spared.
No feather was unturned. No hair was left unwhipped a couple times. But I truly felt as though it was not about me. It was truly about showing people that as a trans woman, I'm able to serve a fantasy, and no one's ever going to tell me that I can't live my fantasy or definitely sell a fantasy, because, honey, we all know that not to be true now, hopefully.
Ed, he apologized for those reasons, for those remarks in Vogue, and he says, quote, "To be clear, we absolutely would cast a transgender model for the show. We've had transgender models come to castings, and like many others, they didn't make it. But it was never about gender. I admire, and respect their journey to embrace who they really are." So when that apology was made public, what went through your mind then?
Girl, BS. Like, I felt as though it was so disingenuous, and there are so many ways to really speak and apologize, and it's one thing to say something, but it's another thing, obviously, to mean it. I think he truly was like, oh, wow, I just need to apologize for what I said.
Obligatory, maybe?
Yeah, maybe more obligatory. I just didn't feel like it was a genuine apology.
Were you a fan of Victoria's Secret before? And if you were, how did this change? How do you feel about the brand after?
I mean, absolutely. I was a huge fan of the brand. I think growing up as a little boy with big girl dreams, in my transition, I would see beautiful women and models and angels, and it was truly such a fantasy that Victoria's Secret represented to me. It really hurt me because, of course, when I did transition, it was such a staple and a milestone for me to be able to go into the Victoria's Secret store and to shop as a woman and to have that experience. And I feel like it just, it took so much away from it. It represented such a fantasy.
Just feminine power.
Feminine power. And to be told that I'm not valid and that I'm not a fantasy, it hurts. It's like, you know, no one wants to be denied. And that's how I truly felt, and it really, really hurt. So that's why I just felt this inner fire in me to do something about it.
You always speak of being so authentic and revealing and relating and leaving no stone unturned. You recently opened up about a very unfortunate situation with an A-list rapper. Tell us about that.
Behind the scenes, a lot of men want to be with us, and maybe not for the best reasons. It's more of like a fetish.
Okay.
And for me, I went into that experience of going to just a regular Halloween party, girl. You know, it was Halloween, girl. I was like living my fantasy, living my happy everyday life. And it turns out, you know, I was at a rapper's place in a mansion, and I ended up getting kicked out just for being transgender. And then by the end of it, I had the rapper contact me and try to get my number and have me hang out. And it was just a crazy experience to me because I'm like, how are you gonna kick me out for being just who I am? I shared it because I felt like it was important to give that knowledge to people. I think that, you know, there are other trans women who have faced such awful situations, and we see it constantly in the media of it ending up way worse. But I just chose on my platform to kind of take a stance. It wasn't really about the rapper. It was never about revealing who he was, because I still would never. I think it was just ultimately about revealing that message that, hey, these are things that are really going on even till this day.
Were you a little bit afraid of retaliation, maybe, that people may put two and two together, that this person may find out that you are speaking of this experience?
I mean, absolutely. I was very scared, but ultimately I just wanted the message to come across, and I think that was so much more important to me. So honestly, I can take on whatever. So hi.
Wow, that was a really good interview, Jace.
Thank you.
You know, for someone, Nikita, who's always usually, you know, so open with her fans, especially on, you know, social media platform, that was really revealing. And as a fan, that I learned a lot about her through that.